Evenings from 6:30 on Talk Radio. Across the UK, James Whale on Talk Radio.
Right, we're back, and we have Ash. Can you sit out of the way? You're blocking.
Oh yeah,
my very nice shot. Yeah,
what, that one there?
Yeah. Just sit out of the way. Right now, former Ironman triathlete, and are you the Ironman triathlete?
Definitely not
yeah,
me.
Definitely
not me.
Because I was just going to say you look a little like Ash, but.
Yeah,
I
do
can't
look like
see
a triathlon.
you doing the. Yeah. No, yes, you're the fit one. Father to Peter McCleve, who now, well, you tell the story. You've been diagnosed with what?
I was diagnosed just after finishing Ironman Wales in 2016 with a blood cancer called myeloma. And unfortunately, it's an incurable blood cancer, but it's manageable up to a point. So I was given back in 2017, when I was formally diagnosed, about 7 years as a prognosis, and a father of two, husband, 39 at the time. You don't expect to hear that. But that came with a caveat, that caveat being that if I could find a stem cell donor, then I had every chance of smashing that particular 7-year prognosis. So having been through the last 2 years of chemotherapy, treatments, I got to a stage where I was sat in the Christie Hospital and was coming out of the back, finding some stability, and decided to try and improve the odds of not just me, but everyone out there who's searching for a stem cell donor. And I started a campaign called 10,000 Donors, with the view to basically rebalancing a very, very rightable imbalance. At the moment, only 2% of the UK population are on the stem cell donor register, which, for something as simple as a cheek swab, and charity DKMS orchestrate all of this, a simple cheek swab that takes a couple of minutes can get you on the register, and then you can potentially save somebody's life. So that's been my focus for the last 2 years, raising awareness and getting more people signed up on that registry.
You've got a lot of blood in you, I imagine. You should be on the registry.
And how much? It's a pint, isn't it?
Not even. No, this is the great thing about stem cells, and this is all part of the education that we've been working on. So
just a little bit.
It's so you can, in 90% of cases, what they do is they stick a needle in one arm. They spin out your stem cells. Your stem cells are only a small part of your blood. They take the stem cells out of your blood and return the blood back to your arm. It takes about 4 or 5 hours. And your stem cells will grow up. Right now, you've got millions swimming around your body. So for those who don't know, a stem cell is the precursor to every single cell in your body. So before hair started being hair or skin was skin, it was a stem cell. And this technology is great because if you are a genetic match for a patient like me, and you can donate me your stem cells, and bearing in mind, your stem cells will grow back. It's not like donating organs. When it's gone, it's gone. These will grow back. But you can potentially save a life. Because those stem cells will be transplanted into me and grow into healthy cells. And it's an amazing technology. It's something which, they work in dementia and paralysis patients. There's a lot of work being done with stem cells, but there's just not enough people on that stem cell donor registry. So with 10,000 donors, 10,000donors.com is a campaign page. It was all about raising awareness and signing more people up. And to date, we've got nearly 35,000 people signed up, but more importantly, 12 confirmed matches for patients somewhere in the world, which is the holy grail. So it just goes to show it's a numbers game. The more people who we can engage and get signed up, the more lives that will be saved. And you won't be sat in front of a doctor and he dangles that carrot of hope that you can potentially extend your life. But actually, we haven't got your match, sunshine, so you're going to have to go on your way.
It's amazing, isn't it? These stem cells can be... I saw some bloke had acid thrown at him on one eye, and they managed to get some cells from his left eye that was still all right and put stem cells with it and give him his sight back from it.
How was it when you were diagnosed and you were told you're only 39? How did you feel?
I remember the day. I remember exactly where I was when the doctor called me, and I'm a bit stupid in the respect. I'll try and avoid going to the doctors like many guys, I guess. And he insisted I go in, so I assumed it was something not great, but I never did I think a diagnosis of cancer, not me. No, I'm an Iron Man, and that made no sense. The only way I can describe it is after I laughed at him and told him it must be, he was wrong. It was like someone put a goldfish bowl of water over my head. My brain just imploded, and I couldn't focus. My vision went a bit. The world just stopped making sense, and I just had to make every excuse to get out of the room and go tell Jen, my wife, which was horrible. Telling my parents was terrible. I think for me, I had to find a way to deal with it. I mean, certainly the first 48 hours after diagnosis were the darkest. You're at night at bed, you're asleep. and all you've got is your own voice to contend with. That was awful.
I was diagnosed with kidney cancer 20 years ago, and I remember that day very, very clearly. Very clearly. I was 49, I think, at the time. And for the first few days afterwards, I rang my wife and told her. She'd put the phone down on me, thought it was a very sick joke, and then realised and rang back and whatever. But I used to remember waking up in the morning and wondering if it had gone.
Yeah, I can empathise with that completely. In a strange way, it's a role reversal of life a lot of the time, because when you go to sleep and you wake up from a bad dream, you know you're back in the real world, but you wake up every morning and that bad dream is there. That cloud never goes away, and certainly a line was drawn in the sand for me on that particular day, because my old life finished and this new life of trying to contend with a diagnosis of incurable cancer has kicked on. But I had to make a choice, and it took a while. I tried to fight it, and that's where I really struggled mentally. I really struggled badly, but I then had to make a choice as to whether I became a passenger or I started to take, or I could take this on. And letting go, and I'm not very good at letting go of things, letting go of those things out of my control, whether it's the pain, the chemo, being away from family, I had no control over that, but I was fighting to hold on to it. I had to let it go and then find something that was in my control. And when I was told that if I could extend my own life by finding a stem cell donor, that was in my control. They're slim odds, but they're better odds than having, if I do nothing, that's a 0% improvement in my chances.
I mean, you look remarkably fit. Are you still working out and doing stuff, or?
I try to at the moment I'm still on chemotherapy. It's just chemotherapy right now I'm able to tolerate. You get tired and a bit thicker of head and foggy-headed, but actually I do think fitness plays a key part in this, and being proactive and trying to remain fit. I'm only going to be able to fight this if I feel better in myself. And again, that's in my control. So if that's in my control and it keeps my mental state positive and physically I can feel better, that's at least something I can do to help myself. I don't want to be... I'm still a dad to 2 boys. And
Are you still working?
No, I'm not. Right now, it's not possible, just because the chemotherapy and the reactions to the chemotherapy and the time away just doesn't allow that, which is frustrating. But I have to do something. And even if the only memories my kids have of me are of being proactive and fighting this, that is what I hope they can hold on to.
You have to. I mean, I was my wife made me go back to work 6 weeks after the operation. You've released a song. Tell me about the song, and then let's hear it.
This came about through I'll let Lee sort of jump in a minute, but it was a chance interaction outside a coffee shop, and Lee's a phenomenal musician. And
is that where you two met, outside a coffee shop?
Yeah, you jump in.
Well, we've told the story a few times, but we live in the same village. Our kids go to the same school.
Whereabouts?
Bunbury in Cheshire.
Yeah.
And we weren't necessarily friends at the time, but knew of each other. And I approached Pete outside the coffee shop. Because I know of his campaigning and the way he talks and the way he campaigns for DKMS, and I just wanted to add to it. And I had a song that was really special to me, and I didn't have a home for it. So we chatted, and it sort of developed from there, and it turned into the song that it is now. And the lyrics are based on lyrics I've written before, but on his blogs. Pete writes.
It's amazing how doing something like that actually helps in a way. I mean, I started a charity a couple of years afterwards. When I realised I wasn't going to die straight away. And the charity is now the biggest charity in the country for people with kidney cancer. And you do feel it sort of gives you a positive feeling about everything to do with the cancer. And people probably, you become what is called a cancer bore. And I do, because every drop of that, I just talk about it.
It's the song has opened up so many doors, not just in terms of opportunities like this evening, but it's opened my own mind to what is possible. I think cancer, if 1 in 2 people get cancer, any cancer, bearing in mind we're living in a very, very divided society nowadays, it's one of those things that for once we can put down our difference. It doesn't matter what your race, your religion, your gender, your bank balance, all of those things are relevant to cancer. It does not care. And we can all come together and help one another under this one umbrella, and that's what I try and promote. And the song itself, the song is great, and I urge people to please listen to it, please buy it, because it will open up doors. We're not making a penny off this. Lee's giving his time and effort for nothing. All the money's going to charity. It's going to hopefully provide a platform whereby we can talk more about stem cell registration and ultimately get more people on that register. That's the key. The song's a vehicle. It's a great song. Please, it's on all digital streaming platforms. Go listen to it. But ultimately, unless it opens doors like this evening for us to come and talk to you and the listeners, and maybe people will go to the website 10,000donors.com and click on the link to actually register, then it's just a song, but it's the way of communicating, and music is such a powerful tool to do that, and Lee is an extremely talented guy.
What's it called?
Well, Lee, let's hear it.
The song is called The Tide.
Yeah.
For 10,000 donors.
For 10,000 donors, 10,000donors.com is where you should go, and Lee's going to sing the song. Let's hear it.
Beauty calling this fight, seeing an angel's fingers dance on 1,000 strings. Like the 6 over light, like a 6 over light. I beg them scared west, am I found in the search for another life? Sun of dust, promise sun to dust. Sign of another life that was bound to wait. Yeah, yeah. Caught up in the tide of my heart, it ripped all I ever say, smashed around me, small terror, life from me. Caught away the black sky into my life. Lay back now through the wind rips around me. It's past all I left for me. Hands on what you say, it's playing so tight, it promise drawn from another life. My past is almost here, scared to feel my fear. I know you are here with me, wanna show you how our life could turn out to be. Reaching my falling star, shine to me. Caught up in the tide of my heart, it ripped all I ever say, smashed around me, small terror, life from me. Caught away the black sky into my life. Right back now through the rear rips around me, past all I left of me. I'm in. Story has chosen me, going a shot to be free. Warm but free, I won't care. Soon you'll be here. If not, the shattered depths wait for me. Shattered depths can't wait for me. Shattered depths can't wait for me. Caught up in the tide of my heart, it ripped all I ever say, smashed around me, small terror, life from me. Caught away the black sky into my life. Right back now through the rear is around me. It's the best I'll ever be. It's the best I'll ever be, yeah. Oh no, won't be the best I'll ever be. Oh no, no, the best I'll ever be, yeah. God, won't let it go. Feel like a player in the cast of another show. Oh.
Thanks so much.
Nikki Texas said, what's the process for donating stem cells? Go to the website, Nikki, 10,000donors.com. And you can find out how to do it and how to have your blood tested right there.
That's right. Just follow, if you're in the UK, follow the United Kingdom palm that's on there. It'll take you to the charity DKMS, and all the details are on there.
I should say 10,000 as a number.
Correct.
Not words. 10,000donors.com. So where do you go from here? I mean, now you've launched this and you're doing this. Is there any way other than that you can find somebody who's compatible? I mean, isn't somebody in your family compatible with you, or would they not have?
Siblings are the most likely match. Unfortunately, my brother, he isn't a match for me. I think it's a 1 in 4 odds you've got, and unfortunately on this occasion he wasn't a match. So then you have to go out and you look into your own genetic history and heritage. And this is the interesting thing about me is, although I look white Caucasian, I'm actually of what's called Macanese descent. So it's a mixture of Chinese and Portuguese, moulded even further with Irish and English. So I'm quite I wouldn't win Crufts, just put it that way. I'm a bit of a mongrel. So for me personally, the odds are, and to be fair, it's for anyone of a BAME background, I think you've got a 20% chance of finding a match versus somebody who's standard white Caucasian. You've got about 60% chance of finding a match. So it's very, very hard to find. But they are out there, and I will keep looking. We will keep looking.
Yeah.
And with the support of people like Lee and everyone who's committed to helping so far, it's improving odds for everybody. And all I have to do is focus my efforts on helping everyone, and then occasionally run the odd campaign around, whether it's the Macanese community, the Portuguese and Chinese community. That's where I can.
Did they give you your DNA? Did they tell you what your DNA breakdown is?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to get involved with, because they'll tell you what you.
Absolutely.
Everyone's interested in that.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's a real science behind it, and it's very, very interesting. It's just eating into, because not all. Whereas in something like the UK and the US, for example, they do cheek swabs. It's a very, very easy process to register. In other countries like China, like Macau, for example, it's a bit more difficult. And I've been spending a bit of time working with a chap down in Hong Kong, trying to change the process that they do in Asia. To
Why
make it
don't they
easier.
do a cheek swab?
They do a blood test, and it's just their choice at the moment.
It's
just
much easier, a cheek swab.
much easier. It's just turning a.
Have you started as well doing everything you wanted to do in life? I mean, I made the mistake, and I made the mistake of doing everything I wanted to do. And now I've lived a lot longer. I've got no money left.
And there's nothing left to do. He's done everything. He's bored now.
Yeah, I went through a phase of making
I
very
am
silly
not.
decisions. So we ended up with a dog and
Quite right too.
And
A
the dog's
dog is
lovely.
therapeutic.
I love her to bits.
I mean, if I didn't have dogs, I wouldn't know what I'd do.
Yeah, I do. I now love her to bits, but I ended up getting a Ford Mustang as well, an old one, which was a really stupid
An old
thing
one?
to do. Yeah.
They're
That's
the best
okay.
ones. The old
Yeah.
ones are the classics.
Oh, mate, honestly, it's
Yeah.
great fun. But
I went out and bought a sports car, which my wife would never have let me buy, about 3 weeks after I got home.
you need to sometimes just let loose on those sorts of things. But
Do you do it up your car then, the Ford Mustang?
I polish it and I clean it. I'd love to have the engineering ability to do it up.
Yes.
Maybe
you should watch
one
that
day.
Wheeler Dealer programme.
Do you know what? If I had the money to do it, I'd invest some cash in it, I have to say.
Well, if anybody's got any ideas for your car, they can call us or get in touch. Yeah. So, how many shows and what are you doing while you're down in London?
Today today we're lucky enough just to be on your programme. Hopefully we're going to be on Sky on Friday, and then whatever we can fit in between.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your music career as well. I mean, you're supposed to be a bit underground. Didn't sound very underground to me.
The track itself is not like that. The track itself is it's a big production. There's lots of guitars, lots of stuff. I don't really know where to start with that. I mean, I've been up and down with my music career over the
I
last
haven't
20
heard
years.
that term for years, have you?
Which
What?
term?
Which one?
Underground music. It used to be
a mole.
very popular back in the 60s,
Are you from down
70s.
London, round
Yes.
south?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and you moved up. How come you moved up to?
You're
my
not
wi-
being rude, are you?
I was ejected. No, my wife is from Cheshire, so we're up that way now. And I've done lots of stuff. But you have kids and you get married, and that becomes a priority. You've got to earn money.
Yeah.
But no, it was just about wanting to help Pete. And me on a personal level, like for the song, yes, I want to help the campaign. You can hear how eloquently he talks about it, and Pete's always talking about everyone else. Me, I physically want to help Pete find a match. That's kind of my goal.
Well, I've got about 2 minutes left. Why don't we just hear the bit of the song for 2 minutes, and then I'm afraid we'll fade into the news. But it'd be nice to do that. And if anybody's listening who thinks their blood might be a match, or even if you don't actually, why don't you go and do this? 10,000donors.com and find out how you could be a blood donor if you have the right blood.
Well, you'll have the right blood for someone, so you go on a database, don't you? So
Yeah.
Exactly.
in future, someone might come.
Make you feel really great. Ash is going to do it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Do you want to play a little bit more
Yeah?
of that song?
That
again?
song?
Amazing.
Oh, no, hang on. We're going to play the studio version. Good.
Awesome, even better.
Right. Thank you very much indeed, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And lots of luck. Tell us how you go on.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Caught up in the tide of my heart. Hearing all I ever say smashed around me. It's bones and life from me. I clawed away the black sky into my life. Fight back now, but through the rain rips around me. It's past all I'll ever be. My hands are where one just says I cling so tight with promise drawn from another life. My passion is almost here. Too scared to feel my fear. I know you're hearing me. I wanna show you how our life could turn out to be. My future, my foreign store. Cause share to me. I caught up in the tide of my heart. Hearing all I ever say smashed around me. It's walls of life from me. I clawed away the black sky into my life. Fight back now, through the rain rips around me. It's past all I'll ever be. Amen. The story is chosen.
Talk Radio.
For over 4